Hey y'all, Mark here with Sharpen Christ Leatherworks. How y'all doing today? Hope y'all are having a good day. We are doing some leather work in here and I thought I'd bring y'all along. So I'm working on a couple of wallets. Where's that other one? So this one I got, it's a bifold wallet. So I'm just starting out and it's a pheasant. I don't know if you can see that on there. It's my first go at a pheasant. So the guy wanted a pheasant on there, and this is some super thick leather that I'm going to end up skiving down and getting a little thinner. But I really love tooling on the thicker leather just because your tooling looks a whole lot better than on thinner leather. And so that's going to be a regular bifold wallet. I still have to get all the interior cut out for that, but I went ahead yesterday and I did a mass cutout session in the morning and cut out 10 projects, 10 different wallets to do. So those are ready, and I'm going to be using about 4 of them, but that way I'll have some extras, about 6 extra for in the future for when I get an order. The outside of it anyways will be cut out and ready to go. So just kind of trying to think ahead and manage my time well. And this other one I'm working on, it's going to be a minimalist wallet card holder, going with some ducks in the flying in the air, excuse me, and some deer. So just I got it cut in. Now I'm getting ready to tool it, and I said, hey, why don't I bring y'all along? And you'll have to excuse me, y'all, for my voice right now. I'm a little under the weather, the kids and I both, so but I'll go ahead and get my earphones on. You might be able to hear me a little better here, can you? All right, forgot to put those in. My brain's not working quite right being sick, so hang in there with me, y'all. But yeah, I thought I'd do a video with y'all. And when I'm tooling, this is what I use here. Probably not the favorite for most. It's a 2-pound sledge, but I can really get a good depth of control in it when I'm going around tooling. I can hit it harder, hit it lighter if I want to. I do have a my first mallet that I ever had was just a rawhide mallet, and I used that for years, and I like it, but it's getting worn out, and so I got this, and it's working perfect. My dad actually got this for me, the baby sledge. I like it. It's a good one. It's great for punching holes. It's great for tooling too. So I just, the good thing about it is you don't have to hit it real hard to get a nice line in something, you know? So, but if I want to get a little deeper in an area, I can. I don't have to switch hammers. I know a lot of people use a maul. I just haven't, I've never used one. I haven't had the opportunity to get a maul, so I don't really have an opinion on them, to be honest with you. People do some great work with them. I know that. So maybe one day I'll get a maul, but I was looking at them at Tandy the other day, or the other week, and I was like, it's just not in my price range right now, and don't really need it, because I got the old baby sledge I'm using. So just tearing away at a couple of these projects, I'm real thankful to have. The Lord has provided opportunity again and again for me to do some work. So I am very thankful for that. So just trucking away. This is kind of a little bit out of my wheelhouse, doing birds and things, and I don't do a whole lot of animal or wildlife type stuff, so it's kind of cool to get the opportunity to do this. So the pheasant is ordered from somebody. This is not. This is just something that I'm doing to have for sale, so I can post up on the marketplace or something and go from there. So trying to get some sort of stock back in. as I've sold through most of all but two wallets. So I need to get some more done and get those posted back up so that I can have some money coming in from that. Then also, you know, if I ever have the opportunity to do a show somewhere, a booth or something, then I'll have some stock on it, you know, instead of having to cram in a bunch of stock and get that all done really fast and rush it. I might already have some done. So I'm not planning on doing any shows this summer with it coming up and being so close. I didn't prepare. I just got started doing leather work again 4 months ago, so just kind of getting back in the groove of everything, you know. The first piece I did when I had come back, it was a little rough looking, you know, but the more you practice, that's the thing with leather work, the more you practice, the better you get. And it may not look like some, there's plenty of people that are way better at tooling than I am. But one of the best things I like about doing leather work is it's unique. No one's gonna have this exact piece. Even if I make the same pattern and tool it on another piece of leather, something about it's gonna be different. There's gonna be different tools that I use perhaps, there's gonna be different embellishes that I make. And I like that about leather. It's unique. It's when you're buying a piece, you're getting a one-of-a-kind piece that's not just stamped on by a factory. So it's something to keep in mind if even if you don't do leather work, but you're buying custom leather work from somebody, keep that in mind that sometimes the flaws are part of the beauty of the piece, you know, so that's a great thing. Coming right along, I had a big order from a guy in New Jersey, nice fella, really appreciate him contacting me. I ended up getting that order done and sent out this morning. So Lord willing, that will be in his hands in less than a week. So really thankful for that. He ended up sending me the money early after I sent him some pictures. And you know, as of right now, I don't have people put down a deposit, although I've really been considering that, but I just haven't been burned on it, so I'm kind of just going with it for now. Eventually, I probably will absolutely have people put down a deposit, just because you don't want to get a piece done and then they say they back out, they don't have any skin in the game, a deposit down. They can just back out if they want to and not have any care, you know. But if you haven't put a deposit down, then they're less likely to want to back out because they're going to lose that deposit and not have a product to show for it. Now, granted, I wouldn't be so harsh on that to where if someone called me while I was in the middle of making their product and they put a deposit down, say they had something major happen in their family that they need that money to go to them or something, I would not be, I'd refund them the money. I'd just keep making the wallet and someone else will buy it or something. I mean, life happens. We all got stuff going on, and you never know what's going to come around the corner. So maybe that's something to keep in mind for you and your business. Just keep, don't be soft and let people walk all over you and stuff, but just have some care about people, you know, when you're doing it. This is not necessarily something that you need, it's more or less something that people want. So you're providing a service for somebody, you're providing a service to people for what they want, not necessarily what they need. it can go both ways, really. Some folks will say, well, I need a wallet. I would agree with that. You need a wallet. And if you're going to get one, you might as well get one that'll last and is handmade and unique. So I don't know, have any of y'all done many birds, or have you ever tooled a pheasant before? I'd be interested in seeing it, or at least hearing about it. I think it was pretty fun. I do enjoy doing feathers because there's just so much detail in a feather that you can put in there to really make it stand out and make it pop. Now, these birds that I'm doing here, they're going to be more of like silhouette type birds. There's not going to be a whole lot of detail in them. So I put a little bit of a border design around that, and I hope it turns out good. So far it is. If a piece cuts in well and looks good cut in, a lot of times it'll look good tooled in too. But not necessarily. Sometimes you can mess up on a tooling and having to start from scratch. And then I got another opportunity to do a couple wallets for a fella that I work with. He wants me to do a long wallet for his mom and then a bifold wallet for his dad. And what's kind of cool about these is that he wants me to put some writing on there. I can, carve letters in there, but he wants it in Spanish. So that's kind of cool. I've never done that before either. So that'll be kind of fun. I will be writing it down and making sure it's correct though. And that's nice, getting his mom a gift like that. He had, he had gotten a wallet from me already. He bought a wallet for his friend down in El Salvador and sent it to him. And so he liked it enough to be able to get one for his mom and dad. Such a cool gift to be able to give your parents too. Something that he came up with the design and stuff, so he's got his hand on it, you know. He's not making it himself, but it is a handmade product, and he was able to pick what kind of design he wants on there, you know, based off of what he thinks they will like. One thing I'm really thankful for is the more I do it, the quicker you get. Now, I'm a little hunched back, you know, and so it's not the best, but once I get that workbench set up, whenever we move, that is gonna help a lot. But I just don't think we got the room right here, right now in our trailer for another table. So yeah, what do y'all use? You use a mallet, you use a maul? What weight? People like different weights for different things. What I like is being able to choose what weight I use. I can go heavy on this thing, or I can go real light, you know. Trucking away at this thing. Any of y'all have tooled before, you know that sometimes a piece can take quite a while. even when you have been doing it for years and you're pretty quick at it, it can still take a while. You got to really think about the piece too as you're beveling. Make sure the lines are right. You don't want to get your bevel off to where you got to correct it. Sometimes you can correct it though. Leather work is pretty forgiving in some areas. Other areas it's like, well, you messed up, you just got to start over. Yeah, we've been dealing with a little bit of sickness in the house. The kids were the first ones to get it, and then I ended up getting it Thursday after I got back from street preaching. Was able to get back, and I felt it in my throat, and I thought, well, since it was my first time back out on the corner in a month, I figured it was just from that. But then later on that night, I could tell. I was like, nah, this is definitely turning into something I'm fighting. So if any of you have leather working businesses, what do you send out with your order? I send out a little handwritten thank you, and I send out gospel tracts in there too. Share the gospel with people. Let them know that it's not so in your face. Like street preaching is pretty in your face. I'm out there in the corner, I'm preaching the gospel right then. But say I may not have the opportunity to have a long conversation with somebody that buys a wallet from me. At the very least, I can send a tract in the mail with it. And they have that tract to think on. They can look at it whenever they get the chance. It's not, hey, you need to look and consider this right now, which they may need to. But I've got a bunch of gospel tracts, and I enjoy handing those out. And I think that's a great way to honor the Lord in your business too, is to hand out gospel tracts to people and just talk about the Lord with them. There's ways to go about it. You don't have to be real pushy. I got on the corner, I'll start out and I'll say, hey, are you saved? Are you going to heaven when you die? Start up a conversation with them and then go from there. You have to excuse me, y'all. My nose is just all stopped up. Thought about not doing a video because of it, but I said, well, it's been a little while since I put one out. I'll just go for it. And this fine tooling, it takes a little pointier bevel. You really got to think about the lines when they're closer together too, because like I said, you mess up with them closer, with the lines that are closer, and it's a little hard to fix that up. Haven't thought of a color design for this one that I'm working on now, but for the pheasant, I'm going, he wants a saddle tan color on the outside. And I said, well, since you're getting a tooling, a design on it, I said, I like to suggest an antique on there. Really makes it stand out. So I'll probably do some resistant on that pheasant, and then put a coat of antique on there, saddle tan antique. that'll really make it look good. I just love the way an antique looks on a piece. What kind of antique do you use? Do you use the paste or the gel antique? I've always just used the gel. I've never bought the paste, but if I use the paste, I imagine I'd probably use some sheep wool on there. But with the gel, I can use my finger, wipe it off with a paper towel, and it always looks pretty good. Don't want to forget that ear. Both ears on this one. Really getting more and more comfortable with my swivel knife too. I just got a decent swivel knife from Tandy many years ago, and that's what I use. I got a straight one, and then I got a angled blade too. Actually, these are it right here. So that, don't know if you can see that or not, but that's what I use for swivel knives. One's adjustable, one's not. I don't play with the adjustment very much, but the angled blade, that was the only blade I had for a long time starting out. So I learned to use it pretty well. Got my stropping pad there. And when you're using what you got, you tend to be pretty creative and figure out ways to work around it. Now I didn't get this as wet as I'd liked, so I am gonna just wetten it a little bit more, which I don't really always recommend after you tool, because it might puff the piece up a little bit. But I'm just gonna get a little on there. And since it's all gonna be dyed, I'm not worried about it being blotchy because I didn't do the whole thing. And now comes the interesting part. I had a modeling tool around here somewhere. No, it's up in here. I've seen fellas use their modeling tool to get the definition and muscles in animals. I always thought that was pretty cool, so we're gonna go ahead and just give it a try here. And see. See how it works. Yeah. Just a little definition makes a big difference. Like I said, there are fellas that are so much better at tooling than I am. But even if you're just starting out, don't be afraid to try something. But I don't recommend trying it on an order. Always try something like this piece. It's not for sale yet. No one's ordered this. So that's when I try something a little different. Where's that other one? There we go. Do that. Maybe I'll have to bring you guys in close one of these times when I'm tooling it, as a lot of them do. But I don't know if you'd be into that or not. You go ahead and let me know in the comments what you think. So it's not terrible, but we'll see. I think the antique will, you know, not terrible, but there's people do it a lot better, that's for sure. Now, one thing, what's his name? I think it's DG Leatherworks or something. He says you start your project with a swivel knife and you end your project with a swivel knife. And I always liked that. I said that's true, because you can do some stuff with the swivel knife that you just won't get with a tool. Like with feathers, for instance. On this pheasant. So one thing I did was get it up close, see if it'll focus. But I used a stamp for some things on here, but then I also used my swivel knife to go ahead and embellish that. Now, I'm not extremely happy with that beak, but it doesn't look terrible. More or less, when I think of a pheasant, I always think of the pheasant tail. So that was the wings and stuff, and the chest, the stuff, the feathers that they have on the chest. If I were to do a color piece in that, I couldn't imagine it'd be so hard to get the color right. Although there's people out there that have done it and done a great job on that. That's for sure. So I'm just gonna add some cut marks in here. Like I said, this is mainly just gonna be silhouette. But I don't think I'm gonna dye them black. I think I'm just gonna do no resisting on this and a solid antiquing on it. Maybe a light brown, maybe a saddle tan. I like the saddle tan. I think that looks really good. Great color to use. Just me at the house right now. The kiddos and Martha's gone. Martha done passed her CDL test, so she'll be on the road before you know it. And driving. And being Mother's Day and everything yesterday, when she came home last week and told me that she had passed the test, I got online with the kids on Amazon and we bought her a shirt that says "Real women drive big rigs." So I just thought that was great. And she did too, she liked it. Just a little bit of work on there. And let's see here. What did I do on that? Look at my stencil here. Alright. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna do for the birds. For the deer, I do have to do a little something for their nose. Some people, you know, it just amazes me. Some people can do this stuff with just the reference they have in their head, or they don't even have to make a traceable stencil. They just freehand it on, and that's just amazing to me how they can do that. All right. I'm also been talking to my wife about a custom stamp, like a maker stamp. So if y'all have any good place to get those, I've looked on Etsy a little bit. But if you guys have one that you really like, then if you would, please leave a comment down there and let me know where you got that. And I'll look into getting one too, because I just need a little stamp, something I can put on there, you know, so that people know who made it, you know. There's all kinds of different ones out there, so. But I guess after I did the embellishments and stuff, I'll give you a little close-up on that. So, and I'll bring you along probably when I'm staining, if I remember. So I guess we'll wrap it up for there. Thank y'all for coming along. And just remember, if you're starting out in leatherwork, you can do it too. And also, remember, if you're not saved, get saved today. Put your faith in Jesus Christ. He'll help you get through things in life. Being a Christian don't mean things are easy. But being a Christian, a believer in Jesus Christ, means you know where you're going when you die. You ain't got to worry about it. All right? So y'all, have a great day. Thanks for coming along. God bless.